Welcome, everyone. I don't know about you, but on a night like this and it's winter and cold, having an opportunity to join a great group of people like you guys and not even have to leave my house is priceless. So here's to Zoom. And kudos to each one of you who've joined us this evening. It just warms my heart because what it tells me is you are proactive about your health. And that's what tonight's call is all about. You're going to hear from three amazing women. You're going to hear a little bit about kind of the state of our health in America today. You're going to hear some good news and some great simple solutions as you start this new year to really incorporate into your health to literally make this be one of the healthiest years ever. And then lastly, we're going to hear from Caroline Brown, who's going to share her personal story with us. So you are in for a treat. So buckle up and listen up. And if you have questions, we'll answer those at the end of the call. So I'm going to turn it over to Susan Fulkerson and just welcome her. Can't wait to hear what she has to share.
Thanks, Elaine. I'm going to start right away by just actually telling you what prompted my health journey. And my sister, Allison, who lives in Birmingham, is also on this call tonight, too. So it's really our shared story. Back in 1997, when I was 34 years old and I was pregnant with our fourth child, our family experienced a major health crisis. My dad, who is 59 years old, healthy, and lived an active lifestyle, he suddenly didn't feel well. After a trip to the ER, we found out that Dad had stage 4 cancer and he died 14 weeks later. That family crisis was a wake up call in our lives. We knew that we needed to learn more about cancer and what caused it. And we were frankly worried, were we going to get it? And as we dug in, we found that nutrition has a direct correlation with our health. That's really good news. Too often we think that we're stuck with our genes that we inherited and that there's nothing we can do to change those genes. Your DNA is not your destiny. There's a whole field called nutrigenomics. Nutrigenomics, it's a hard word, that it analyzes genes and nutrition and how they interact and how our diet affects our gene expression. The genes that we're born with, they do not have to control our destiny. Our genes may load the gun, but our lifestyle and our diet and nutrition are what pull the trigger. Unfortunately, I bet everyone on this call has experienced some kind of major health crisis in their immediate family or their extended family, or maybe even has a friend who's gone through a health crisis. What we're going to talk about tonight is this simple change that can make a huge difference in your health. But first, I've got to start with the bad news. On this first slide here, this is talking about Americans, and you can see that we're unhealthy. Just look at the stats. 1 in 4 people are going to die of heart disease. 1 in 2 women and 1 in 3 men will develop cancer. 1 in 3 will have diabetes by 2050, and 1 in 5 children is obese. And I want to point out the quote at the bottom by Dr. David Katz. Dr. David Katz is a doctor, a writer, a nutritionist, and he is a founding director of the Yale Griffin Prevention Center up at Yale University. And this quote says, "Our children are more harmed by poor diet than by exposure to drugs, alcohol, and tobacco combined." He also has another quote that I'm going to read, and it's staggering. He says that children born in the year 2000 or later, this is in America, children born in the year 2000 or later are not expected to outlive their parents. I have 6 grandchildren and 2 on the way, and they've all been born in the last 8 years. And for me to realize that my grandchildren might not outlive their parents, that's just crazy. Okay, this next slide, I want to make sure that I explain that the US, we are the unhealthiest in the world compared to other high income countries. So not third world countries, but other high income countries. And I have some stats on that that I just need to read. I think we all know that there's a health crisis in our country, but I don't think that we have realized that it is the worst in the United States for high income countries. The United States spends more on healthcare than any other high income country, but has the highest rate of people with multiple chronic diseases. Half of all American adults have one or more preventable chronic disease, many of which are poor quality eating patterns, which are related to poor quality eating patterns. This blew my mind. The US has a lower life expectancy than other high-end countries. And this, sadly, is also true. The US has the highest rate of infant and maternal deaths compared to other high income countries. And the US, we really don't have a prevention like a lot of the countries in the East. They meet with doctors, they're always talking about what they can do to prevent disease. Here, our healthcare is more of a disease management system. So, what are the factors? What makes our country rank so low? And you can see from this slide here the toxins that are in our environment. They're in all the different examples that are listed below, with just air pollution, water, pesticides. Unfortunately, so many of our foods are sprayed with pesticides. Our prescription drugs are tainted, over the counter drugs. There's chemicals. I want to point out, I know that we're all concerned about the food we eat, but also it's not just what we put in us, but what we put on us. We really need to look at what's in our skincare products, our hair care products. The US, unfortunately, our standards are so much lower than the European Union and what they allow. Many of what is banned over there in the EU are here, and they're in our products. And then lastly, you see plastics. Whenever you can, just, don't drink out of plastic water bottles, try not to use plastic, containers to store your food. But there's a lot of examples of just all combined, the toxins that are around us. Okay, so let's talk about our food. Our food quality is decreasing. It's a lot different than when I was a child growing up. More than 50% of what Americans eat is processed. And what does that mean? You can see the different things that are in the processed food. You can see the preservatives, flavor enhancers, emulsifiers, vitamins, growth hormones. You think about our cattle, our chicken, and the hormones that they're given that comes into us, the GMOs, the pesticides, trans fat, artificial colors. And that I had just referred to the EU, they do not have nearly as much processed food. Their quality of food is so much better, therefore, they are healthier. And the quote on the bottom is a little confusing. Broccoli could lose 50 to 80% of its key nutrients before you purchase it. That is not just broccoli alone, that's really any produce. And what that means is, if you notice when you're in your produce section at your local grocery store, a lot of our produce comes from Central America, South America, because obviously we don't have the climate to grow every kind of fruit and veggie year round in our city. But consequently, what they do is they pick our fruits and veggies so early, so by the time they ship them, they get to the grocery store and they put them on the grocery shelf. They're not rotten. But studies have showed that it is the last 24 hours, when all of the fruit and vegetables are on the vine ripening, that 90% of the nutrients are in the fruits and veggies. So therefore, when they pick them so early and we think we're doing well, getting the fresh fruit and veggies, they really have lost some of the key nutrients before we even take them home. So there's a lot of different factors that are in play to make us healthier. We all know we need to get out and exercise more. Also, Europe, they have walkable cities, and that's not always the case here in the US. So that's another factor why they're a little bit better health. But exercise, we all need more sleep. Stress is something that we all need to learn how to manage. We need to drink water. A lot of people are just dehydrated and don't even know it. We need to look at the products we use. I had mentioned before, not only what we eat, but what goes in our hair and skin products, and then food. So for tonight's purposes, just because we have such a short, limited amount of time, we're going to focus on food and real food. So we're going to focus specifically on fruits and veggies. Experts agree that most diseases are preventable with good nutrition. In fact, I saw a statistic and it was 75% of diseases are preventable with good nutrition. But what's even more remarkable is they're not only preventable, but they're reversible. You can take your diet and change what you eat, and you can literally heal yourself from a lot of different diseases. So it's that powerful that what you eat, you can prevent or reverse. Really, the two main causes of disease are inflammation and oxidation. And this slide has a great picture that shows us about oxidation. And I know everybody has taken an apple before and you've sliced it, and you notice once the apple sits out that it starts to turn brown. And that is oxidative stress. And oxygen is vital. We need it, we breathe it. But unfortunately, when it's in our body, we get free radicals. And when we have an imbalance in our body between antioxidants and free radicals, that's when we get oxidative stress. And the only place to get antioxidants are in fruits and veggies. That's why you see the lemon there. And we all know that trick when you are cutting an avocado or doing fruit and you want it to slow down that aging process, we squeeze a little lemon juice on it because it's filled with the antioxidants. So that same process happens when we eat antioxidants. All right, so did you know we need to eat 7 to 13 servings of fruits and veggies every day? And really, if you're trying to wonder, well, how much is a serving? A half a cup is it equates to one serving. Now, that statistic that says 7 to 13 servings, really, if you're an athlete and you're working out's great, but you have more oxidative stress. And so therefore you need even more fruits and veggies. So athletes should eat more than 7 to 13 servings. If you're pregnant and you're eating for 2, if you have cancer, if you have an illness and you are fighting just to get your immune system up, you need to even pour in more than 7 to 13 servings of fruits and veggies per day. Why so many? When I was a kid, there was a slogan and it was called 5 a day. Get your 5 a day fruits and veggies. So why did it go from, years ago, we only needed 5 servings of fruit and veggies to today, we need 7 to 13? A lot of that is what I touched on with where our fruits and veggies come from. And I had mentioned that they pick them so early, they're coming from Central America. By the time they get on our grocery shelf, they were picked and they didn't even get the last 24 hours on the vine. So we need more of them to get the impact that fewer of them used to give us. Also, we don't eat the rainbow. There's so many beautiful natural colors of fruits and veggies. And if y'all are like me, I tend to eat probably the same, maybe 4 or 5 fruits and veggies. I get in my thing where I know how to cook my beans, my broccoli, my kale, my asparagus, and I don't venture out too often, especially not daily, to eat all the variety in the rainbow. And it's really important because each color has different properties that help different parts of our body. All right, this slide here shows the difference between a vitamin and an apple. And I think we all realize there's an epidemic in America. I didn't touch on it in the earlier slide, but when they were showing the statistics, I remember when I was a child, I never heard of any other children having cancer. In my mind, disease, illness was always with old people. But now, we have Rally for Cancer, childhood cancer. Why is it that younger and younger generations are getting these diseases? Why do we have so many autoimmunes? Why do we have mental issues with depression, anxiety, ADHD? We all know that we're in a health crisis in America. And because of that, 70% of Americans, they're trying to fill the gap. They know they need help. And so they turn to a multivitamin. And I really want to point out the difference between a multivitamin and whole food. You see the vitamin there, and on the left of your screen, you see a supplement fact. And the first vitamin, I know it's kind of small, but the first vitamin that is listed is vitamin A. And multivitamins have mega doses of a few vitamins, and they're really toxic level. Our body is not made to have mega doses of a certain vitamin unless a doctor tells you you have a specific vitamin deficiency. Look at the apple. On the right of that, with those tiny little words that you can't read, there's over 400 vitamins and minerals and phytonutrients that are listed there. But an apple actually has over 10,000 phytonutrients. We couldn't even list them all. And they've only discovered maybe 100 vitamins. And there's vitamins that have not even been discovered yet, or minerals. But in that apple, you get a tiny little bit of every vitamin, not a mega amount like in the supplement, but a tiny amount. But because you're getting all of the different phytonutrients and they work together, that's called synergy. They work in your body and it's more powerful. Our body knows how to digest whole food. Our body does not know how to digest a multivitamin. And this is a perfect time for me to turn it over to Elaine, who has an actual story about what happened when they were on a multivitamin.
Well, this is back 25 years ago, and the only thing that I knew and my husband knew about getting healthy was to take a vitamin supplement and exercise. And so it was probably about January of 1999. And we decided we were going to take a multivitamin and we were going to exercise. And about 3 months into taking just an over-the-counter multivitamin, my husband had some blood work done. And when we got it back, he was having, trying to get some life insurance. And when it came back, it showed that his iron was like sky high, like dangerously high. And so he went to the doctor and he said, the only thing different I've been doing is just taking this multivitamin. And the doctor said, well, get off of it and see if it changes your blood work. And sure enough, he went back a month or two later and his iron was back down in normal ranges. And it was that very thing that really pushed me toward beginning to investigate if just working out and taking a multivitamin is not how you stay healthy. How do you stay healthy? And as I researched, everything pointed back to whole food nutrition, which is exactly what Susan was saying, that we don't need, maybe 100 of vitamins that are mega dosed, whereas in an apple, I think it's like 2 milligrams or something like that of vitamin C. We don't need 2,000, which is what you'd see in a normal, man-made synthetic vitamin. But what we need is just a little bit of all the thousands of phytonutrients that God made for us to get through our food. We just don't eat enough whole food. And so that was a huge wake up call to us. And it really pointed us in the right direction when it came to eating whole food to stay healthy.
But that leads us right into Juice Plus, and Juice Plus is whole food. It's 30 fruits, vegetables, and berries in capsules or chewables. And it's peaked or picked at the peak of ripeness. And Susan had talked about that, how most of the produce in our grocery store is picked early to allow for transportation time. But because the factories are close to the farms, the fruits and vegetables in Juice Plus are harvested at the peak of ripeness and processed within just a couple of hours of when they come off the field. So it's very nutrient dense. The whole food is pulverized, and the reason I use that term whole food is that it's the peel as well as the interior. And that's so important because a lot of the vitamins and minerals in our fruits and vegetables is in the peel that we often don't eat. So, for example, let's just take an orange, for example. 80% of the vitamin C is actually in the peel. And I don't know about you all, but we are not eating orange peels at our house. And so I think that is so powerful. And then it's pulverized and dried into powders at a very low temperature, which also preserves the nutrients. We also have a full spectrum omega blend, and we're going to talk about that in just a minute. But I love this picture when you see the actual fruits and vegetables that are in each blend. And what really stands out to me is the wide variety. Susan had mentioned how we get in a rut. I know I have tried several times in our marriage and I have bought beets with good intentions, but I'm just going to be honest, I don't care for them. And so typically 3 weeks later, we are pulling them out of the refrigerator rotten. And so I'm just grateful that some of those things that we wouldn't eat because of we just don't like the taste that we're getting through Juice Plus. Also, the variety is so important. You know, it's a struggle to get the number of servings that we need day in and day out. But even on a good day, if I do get the servings, I just rarely get that wide variety. And the reason it's important is that the colors provide different benefits to our health. For example, the reds contribute to heart health, cancer prevention, immune support, and fruits detoxify. The greens build our bones and support digestive health, heart and eye health. And then you've got the blues and purples, which are anti-inflammatory. They support cardiovascular wellness and brain health, and they also have anti-cancer benefits. But I love the statement of make one simple change because we know, like Susan said, it's not just nutrition, but we need to get our rest. We need to drink plenty of water, manage stress, exercise. And to be honest, sometimes it feels a little overwhelming, but I feel like this is one simple change that we all can do. Everybody can swallow a capsule or chew up a chewable. And so, you know what? We're going to do things and stick with it when it's quick and easy. The plant-based omega is 100% plant-based. We skipped the middleman, or maybe I should say the middle fish, because fish actually get their omegas from the plants in the sea. And so we went straight to the source, which is the algae. So you have no worry about the contamination that you have with mercury when it comes to fish. There's no yuck, fishy taste. It's pure and sustainable. And I want to just throw out where it says cold pressed. That is so important because heat and chemicals can destroy the nutrients. And so the cold pressed preserves the nutrients. It reduces the risk of oxidation, which Susan had talked about. It provides higher bioavailability, and we'll talk a little bit more about that in a minute. So a cold pressed omega supplement is a cleaner and more natural supplement. We are all familiar with omega 3s, but this is a full spectrum omega. So it's omega 3, 5, 6, 7, and 9. And just like the various colors in our fruit, vegetable, and berry blend, the different omegas benefit our health in different ways. But omegas are so important for our heart, brain, joints, skin, eyes, mood. So that's really powerful. But what stood out to my husband and me about Juice Plus is that it is food. If you have a vitamin in your home right now and you take a look at the back of it, it will have a supplement label. It says supplement facts. But the back of the Juice Plus products actually has a food label. It says nutrition facts, just like you would find on the back of a bag of broccoli at the grocery store. It's made with non-GMO ingredients. It's vegan, kosher, dairy, and gluten-free. It's also NSF certified. We are hearing a lot about heavy metals that are in our foods, that are in a lot of supplements. We also know supplements aren't always regulated. You really can't know without that third-party certification that what you're getting is pure. So the NSF certification ensures us as the consumer that what's on the label is exactly what's in it. There's also no banned substances. There's no herbicides, pesticides, mold, anything like that. I love that we also have the NSF for sport certification for professional athletes. And that just reminds me that several of the Olympic teams used the Juice Plus products as their primary nutritional source for their athletes. Also, the U.S. Performance Center in Charlotte, North Carolina, they fuel their athletes with all of the Juice Plus products. So I love that they're understanding the benefit of whole food nutrition. It's also the most thoroughly researched brand name nutritional product in the world. And I love the statement that we're known by the company we keep. When you look at this list of leading hospitals and universities, it's so impressive. If you are in the medical field or in the science field, then you understand what gold standard research is. It's randomized, double blind, placebo controlled. It's tested on the product itself. And that's important. It's not that we borrowed research that tells us broccoli is healthy and good for you. We actually tested on the Juice Plus capsule itself in humans, and it's published in peer-reviewed journals. So actually there, for anybody who wants to dig deeper in that, you can actually see the articles. So I love this list. You see University of Texas, MD Anderson, which is well known, Vanderbilt University School of Medicine. But the second to the last, right above Yale, I wanted to point out Wake Forest University. That was actually funded by the NIH. So that is a government funded study, which is really neat. But bigger than who did the study is we want to know what it shows. And the results show that it contributes to cardiovascular wellness. It supports a healthy inflammatory response. Susan had explained that chronic inflammation, acute inflammation is good for us, but chronic inflammation on the inside is the root of all disease. It supports quality of life, healthy cholesterol, positively impacts gut microbiome and digestive health. We're hearing a lot about that these days. Healthy lung function, healthy skin and gut. It supports the immune system. And I think since COVID, that is something that's on all of our minds. It helps maintain a healthy DNA, reduces oxidative stress, and it's absorbed by the body. So that to me is the most important. There are over 8 studies showing that Juice Plus is bioavailable. So a supplement doesn't do any good if it does not get into your bloodstream. So I love the bioavailability studies, and it improves several key cognitive functions. Hello, I'm at that stage right now. This quote by Dr. Richard Du Bois, he was a well-renowned doctor in the state of Georgia, president of the Atlanta Medical Center, an incredible resume. And he's quoted here as saying that there's nothing else available any place in the world with or without a prescription that's been clinically proven to do what Juice Plus does. I wanted to mention the Healthy Starts for Families. That is a program. This slide has not been updated, but basically with an adult order, a child age 4 through 25 can receive the fruit and vegetable blend in the capsules or the chewables with an adult order. And this study is not the gold standard study, but this is parents who have just reported over the years what they have seen after their children have been on Juice Plus for a year. I love the 61% were eating more fruits and vegetables. I saw that in my own family with our 3 boys. When you give your body what it needs, it begins to crave those things. So those are great statistics. I just want to touch on a couple of more products. We have the complete shakes. My husband and I call this our healthy fast food. It is vegan, made with non-GMO ingredients, gluten and dairy free, a great source of protein and fiber, and it's also low glycemic, so it's great for diabetics. It is loaded with superfoods, broccoli, radish, alfalfa sprouts. You've got the ancient grains. You see where it says mushrooms, and the reason that's important is that is a source of vitamin D. There's very few sources of vitamin D from food. You can actually just mix it with your favorite beverage or we like to throw in organic frozen fruit, a handful of spinach. And so it's just an easy way to get more produce in your diet. Our newest product is the Juice Plus Luminate. And it's a berry mango flavored drink mix that you pour into water. It can be served cold or warm. And warm, oh my gosh, I don't know if it's just because it's winter, but that is like my early afternoon pick me up treat. It provides rapid cognitive benefits such as clarity, energy, focus, concentration. I won't go over all the ingredients, and we didn't list everyone here, but you've probably, or you may have heard of ashwagandha. It's prized for its ability to reduce stress and anxiety, enhance mood and overall vitality by balancing our cortisol levels. Lion's mane is known for supporting brain health, including memory, focus, and clarity. And Alpinia galangal root, which is not shown here, is in our Luminate, and it's valued for its anti-inflammatory, antioxidant, and antimicrobial properties. So, people love those energy drinks, coffee in the afternoon. This is a great, healthy alternative. I just think January, I love the words. We need to just reset. We need to be re-energized. We all are feeling it right after the holidays. And so this month in Reset 25, to get us all back on track, there is a special offer with a new order of the fruit, vegetable, and berry blend capsules. You receive for free your healthy fast food, the complete shake mix. The capsules are our micronutrients. The shake mix is our macronutrients. You get one free pouch of the vanilla complete, 15 servings, a pouch of the chocolate complete, which is 15 servings, and then a box of the Luminate. And we are about to wrap up, but I know y'all are thinking, okay, just hit us up. What is the cost? And I think all of us know and have seen the pain of our pocketbooks in this inflation, especially in the area of groceries. And so what is amazing is that for only $2.67 per day, you can get the 30 fruits, vegetables, and berry capsules. But I just want to remind you, if you have a child or a grandchild or niece or nephew in that age range of 4 through 25, you're actually getting two for $2.67 per day. So I'm going to stop my screen share, and I have asked Caroline Brown to share her personal story.
Can you hear me okay?
Yes.
Okay, great. Yes. Hey, everybody, I'm Caroline. So basically,
Okay, you muted yourself.
so sorry. So me and my husband, we got married about 5 years ago. And at that time, I started really doing a lot of cooking in my life. And so I realized kind of what some of these women had said, that my vegetable selection was very narrow. And so you could always count on broccoli and sweet potatoes and a few other things during the week. But it was just kind of narrow. So I think I was primed to, when I did hear about Juice Plus, to be like, wow, that's something I really need. So fast forward a couple years, me and my husband are in Allison and her husband's small group. And we were hoping to grow our family. And so we were going to start thinking about what kind of multivitamin or prenatal for me to get on. And my husband is very wise and knowledgeable about things, and just said, like, I think that you really need to do some research, because I've heard that not many vitamins really go into your body, like kind of like what we were talking about at the beginning of this, that they're not very bioavailable. He didn't know that word at that time, but they weren't absorbing, and that you might just sort of pee it out. It doesn't really affect you. And I'm like, oh my goodness, I didn't know that. Very smart. And so that kind of led us to talk to Allison and her husband, because we had seen Juice Plus on their countertop. And so what I was hoping for was, something that would be really good quality. So after talking with them, I realized, okay, not only is it good quality, but it's whole food. So I'm actually getting the wide variety that I realized that I wasn't getting just from cooking, even though I had grown a little bit, I'd gotten better, but not great. And then it was bioavailable, so it was getting in my bloodstream well, and there was many research articles that shared that. And then we were hoping to have a baby, and so it had folate in it, which is like the natural form of folic acid, which is in a lot of prenatals. So check, check, check. I have 3 checks so far. And then we had not been taking any multivitamin before. So I kind of was like, this kind of a big, in my mind, it was a bigger jump financially just because we hadn't been taking anything at all. So we were like, how about for this first, kind of time around, we'll split our serving. And we kind of put it into our grocery budget because we were realizing, okay, this is kind of like our fruits and vegetables for every day and for every week. That's kind of how we sort of, I guess, decided how to work it out. So that's how we got started. And that was over close to 4 years ago now, which is kind of crazy to think about. So it's been great. And I'm really thankful. We both take our own serving now. So I'm thankful for that. But I used it throughout my pregnancy. It was great. Didn't have any issues. He seemed normal. So that's good. And yeah, I think the biggest thing that I've noticed over the years is, little things, but the bigger thing would be probably my immune system just really feeling stronger. My colds and things like that have just seemed short, or my symptoms very mild, which has been neat. And there was a season where I was taking the full serving and my husband wasn't taking it at all before we got him his. And he would get sick and I wouldn't. So I was like, oh my goodness, we've got to get you on Juice Plus. So again, it might not have been totally because of Juice Plus, but I think it was a big factor. So I think that's kind of been where we started off. And then a few years ago, I decided that, I think we're going to take this for the rest of my life, that I can see in the foreseeable future. And it seems good for our family and what we want, and really healthy. And so I decided to become a partner at the very beginning, just to kind of get, a little bit back on my own product. But it's been fun to get to share it with family and friends, and then get to see the benefit of it. And I'm just kind of really thinking about what all kinds of things I could be preventing too, for not just me and my family, but extended friends. And so I'm hopeful and excited about what could be from that. So so that's kind of my story, and thankful to be able to be a part of this group. So thanks.
Thank you so much, Caroline, just let us have a little sneak peek into your life and how you incorporated Juice Plus into your family. And so thank everybody that joined us this evening and just carved out a little bit of time, focusing on your health. We hope at a minimum you walk away. If you're not taking Juice Plus, we just encourage you to make that one simple change in your life and add some incredible nutrition in a simple manner through this amazing whole food concentrate called Juice Plus. But maybe as you're sitting here listening to us talk, you're thinking, I think I need to tell this person about Juice Plus. I think they would like it, or that person. Or maybe you're like Caroline, and Caroline, I was the same way 25 years ago when I started taking Juice Plus. I wanted a way to offset my family's cost. And so I became a partner as well. Didn't ever intend for it to grow and replace my full-time income. But here's the beautiful thing about Juice Plus. It is awesome if you just want to take it to impact your health, or maybe share it with a few people, or maybe build an income stream, a secondary income stream. For our family, for 25 years, that income stream has been coming in, and I get to meet wonderful people like I see on this call, and so many of you are my absolute dearest friends. And so it's beyond health and finance. It's become such a community and such an important, just amazing people that I get to share my life with. And so we just invite you to join us at whatever level you want. We just say, come aboard. We would love to share whatever you'd like to know further about Juice Plus. Just stay on the call at the end or reach out to any one of us. But Thank you so much for joining us this evening, and we hope to see you soon.
And if anybody has questions, feel free to stay on if you want to ask us anything about the information we shared. But thanks so much for coming.
Thank y'all for sharing. I feel like I learned something new every time.